Today we are going to discuss how nouns can be converted into verbs, and this is possible with a process called conversion. And what is conversion? Conversion is a word formation process where a word can be converted to another without a physical change in its form, and many nouns can be converted into verbs through this process. Let's see, and these are the examples. Eyeball is a noun and it can be used as a verb like eyeballing, table, tabling, walk, walking, Google, googling, knife, knifing, mouth, mouthing, pocket, pocketing, eye, eyeing, microwave, microwaving, closet, closeting. Let's see these conversions of nouns to verb with examples, along with examples. The first one is eyeball. The meaning of eyeball is to gauge or estimate or judge by eye or to look or glance at. Examples: a good cook can often just eyeball the correct quantities of ingredients. Which means an experienced cook, by looking at the texture of the dish itself, he or she can judge or gauge the quantities and the ingredients which went into that dish. Second example, if you eyeball someone or something, that means you stare at them, you ogle at them. That means looking at someone or something with a kind of inquisitiveness or sometimes even mockery also. Another example is the hero is eyeballing the lady's long legs. And then the last example is the cricketer is eyeballing his former captain. Maybe they played in another match earlier and now he is playing an opposite to him or whatever it is. The cricket is eyeballing his former captain. Next example. So before we move on to this example, look at the movie clipping also you can look at.
నీ కళని పట్టుకువదల నన్నవి చూడే నా కళ్ళు
Oh, a deep goal, and that's gone the distance. Prashant's not one to back down. He's eyeballing his ex-captain. What a contest this is turning out to be.
Table means to discuss. We seem to have a difference of opinion. Let's table it. So when we want to discuss on any issue, we can also say, let's table it. Here also I have provided a clipping. Please watch that clipping to understand it clearly.
I'm sorry, but it's just not a fit for my office.
Your office.
Let's table this for now.
Next one, walk means to take for a walk or to perform an action of walking. And the example, the lady is walking the dog. Walking the dog is perfectly right. Then the next one, fourth one is Google. Means search for information about someone or something on the internet using the search engine Google. Example, he Googled the Third World War causes. Or she Googled her papers, but there was no information on the internet. So Google can be used as a verb. Next example, knife. Usually knife is a noun, but it can also be used as a verb. For example, to cut or to move or cleave through something with or as if with a knife. So cutting, when we make a sharp movement, we can use this verb called knife. Example, the ship is knifing through the heavy seas. Means it's cutting the waters and then it's moving forward. So where we can use the verb called knifing. Mouth. Mouth is actually a noun, but it can also be used as a verb. Move the lips as if saying something. When we perform the action of speaking with the mouth and make a silent sounds or something, we can sometimes we make audible sounds also. For example, she mouthed a silent prayer. That means she spoke or she performed the action of speaking. Next word is pocket. Pocket is actually a noun, but it can be used as a verb also. To put something into your pocket. For example, she paid for the drink and pocketed the change without counting it. She didn't bother to count, but she put it in the pocket. That means pocketed. She took the money. Another example, he regularly charges passengers more than the normal fare and pockets the difference. So whatever difference he gets, he simply puts it in the pocket or he accepts them. Sometimes, this pocketing can be used for a secret or a forbidden action also. When you are not entitled to take that and you take it, so you can call it as pocketing. In the other sense, this word pocket has a negative connotation. The eighth one is microwave. Microwave is a noun, but it can also be used as a verb, which means to cook food in the micro oven. He is microwaving the food. So we can use it like a verb. He is microwaving the fish. He is microwaving the chicken. Anything we can use to denote the action of cooking in the microwave. Next word is I, which means I is actually a noun, but it can also be used as a verb, which means look at closely or with interest. When you really pay attention to something or when you contemplate on something, you can use this word called eyeing. First example, after eyeing the document for half an hour, she decided not to sign it. That means she has contemplated on the items which are there on the document and she studied it very carefully. That is the meaning of eyeing. And she came to a decision not to sign it. Next example, they went out and eyed the new car before buying it. So they examined the new car before buying it. And the next example is KCR eyeing a national role? That is he contemplating to take a new role at the national level? So that is the meaning of eyeing. So whenever we are using any word as a verb, it can be used in the ing form or in the ed form. That is the participle form also can be used. And the next noun is fancy. And when it is converted to verb, the meaning is feel like. If you like something, you can use this fancy as a verb. For example, do you fancy a burger? Or simply you can say fancy a cup of tea. It's very colloquial. So meaning is, do you like to have a burger or do you like to have a cup of tea? Just watch this clipping, how the lady asks using this word fancy.
I must say I was quite impressed with the way you cleaned the lift yesterday.
Thank you.
You fancy a cup of tea?
I better get going.
You have time. Come in.
And the next noun is game. Game means willing. Actually, we all know the meaning of game as a noun, but when it is used as a verb, the meaning is willing. You can say, I'm game for a pizza. That means I like to have a pizza or I'm willing to have a pizza. So this word can also be used as a verb which means willing. Again, you can watch a clipping where this usage is seen very clearly. Then we'll move on to the last word for today.
Let's all grab a pizza after Raju clears his exams.
Sounds like a plan. I'm game.
Take care, my dear.
And the last word for today's session is closet. A closet, we all know the meaning as a noun, it is a cupboard or an almirah. But when it is used as a verb, it means shut someone away, especially in private conference or study. When we put a person in a secret place, it is called as closet. Example, he was closeted. That means he is put in a very secret place, maybe in a cupboard or in a study room or in a private conference. So that is how closet can be used as a verb. Closeted, closeting. I told you it can be used in ing form and as well as ed form also. So those were some of the nouns which can be converted into verbs. Hope you have understood them clearly. And if you have got any other nouns which can be used as verbs, please share in the comment box. And thanks for watching. And if you had made sense out of this tutorial, please like, share and subscribe.